So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the Ptera Grips because I said so, and they're front in line. I actually really kind of dig these. I mean, both just in terms of the concept of the weapon and this tiny piece of fuzz that made it on camera. Wow, way to try to get famous. But just in terms of the toys too, I mean, they're still small. You can see that they're still that small weapon size, but they just, because they're meant to be daggers, they don't feel as bad, and I think they look pretty decent. Like if these were on like a shelf displayed all cool, I could see that being kind of neat. I mean, you still have this kind of cheapish looking gray plastic, but I've certainly seen cheaper, but everything seems fine about it, and I just kind of like the design of them. And I also really like that they included the feature that these, like, their mouths open, because she goes like, Ptera Grips, and they're like, Prah! That's the actual noise. But I don't know, I just kind of dug that. For whatever reason, I'm just super partial to these. I think they're really just not that bad. I mean, like I said, small size, but given that they're daggers, they're just a little bit better than some of them, because I've certainly seen a lot worse. Like, I've seen there's ones that are supposed to be full-on swords that are this size, and I could see like these being on a cool display or something. Then you have like the main event, which is the Tyranno Staff. I was about to say the T-Rex Saber. I'm like, this isn't a Saber, Dawson. Pull it together. But this is obviously more of a small, you know, weapon size. It's kind of funny, like, I'm talking about how this isn't so bad because they're supposed to be daggers, and this is supposed to be like a giant staff weapon, and it's basically the size of a small sword. But it actually doesn't look too bad, like, look-wise. I mean, the only thing that really bothers me is actually this on-off sticker that looks kind of aged, and the switch actually being there. I kind of wish they had put it somewhere underneath here so it wasn't sticking up. But the plastic looks good. There we go, for the red. The T-Rex head is a little bit damaged because I got this used, but that's okay. It kind of looks like that time when it got like stuffed up. I think someone like blocked it or something, and it looked like it's congested and it got all squished. But I do like I almost said the compound paint, the sort of metallic finish here and here. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of weird and almost stylized chibi looking, but I just think it doesn't look that bad on display. Like, I remember getting this and I was kind of thinking, oh, where's the weird Power Rangers sticker on there? This isn't a Power Rangers weapon without it. So it's not perfect, a little dinky, a little funny looking, but also I don't think it looks half bad on display. When you press this button, it's going to separate into two for transforming it into the Z-Rex Blaster, which we'll be getting into in just a second. It does have some sounds. Ooh, listen to that sweet sound. I could have that be my alarm and just listen to that every day. You press this little trigger here. Ooh, that hurts my ears. I don't know if it hurts yours. But nothing terribly exciting, and that's all it does for this mode. I'm going to turn it off for now because it's not like we get any transformation noises, but I wanted to highlight that. Alright, now we have the Tricera Shield. Here it's more like a gauntlet. Again, I think just display-wise, it doesn't look half bad. Like, I like the chrome here. I think it looks kind of neat. Sometimes it looks cheap, but in this case, I think it doesn't look half bad. It's probably, I don't know, one of the least representative just because of how small it is, but I still think it's kind of cool for a small scale replica. This little bit pushes in and out. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure if this is supposed to stay clicked in and press out by something, but mine is just always doing this, and if it is supposed to do that, I think the mechanism doesn't work, but it does do that, and I can barely fit my 4 fingers in there for this tiny little gauntlet bit. But yeah, it doesn't look half bad. I feel like that's my general consensus about these, is that they're definitely small scale weapons, but in terms of putting them on display, they're actually kind of okay, and I've seen a lot worse, especially in recent years. I mean, you got the sticker here for the eyes and stuff, but I don't think it looks half bad either. I kind of like the way that this gold plastic here they use for this kind of has a shine to it. You can sort of tell it's a nicer one because there's that cheap yellow one here and it shows the contrast. There's also a piece that you will slide on top, which you'll see here in a minute, that's mainly used for the transformation, which we're going to get to now, and I'm going to try a slightly new style for transforming that. Okay, so as you can see, now we have it all together, and you know, this thing obviously wasn't going to magically get bigger by transforming it. It's still a pretty small size. You're certainly not going to be able to have a to scale thing where you have 3 people holding it. I mean, you can have 3 people holding it. It'll just look really weird and small. So it's definitely not going to be one of those that's to scale. I think that'd be kind of a interesting / weird one to do almost to scale for like a Legacy or Lightning Collection type thing. But I think it actually doesn't look too bad just for something that you might have sitting on a small shelf or like on top of a shelf or something, like just sitting there. I mean, like I said, the T-Rex head looks a little squished, which is kind of weird, but just like I said, sitting there, I think it looks kind of like a decent small scale representation of it. Like all the colors look good. The stickers don't look too cheap. There's no unnecessary Power Rangers sticker on there or anything like that, which I think is pretty cool. And it you know, snaps together pretty well. Some of the sort of like slide in locks are kind of hard to get out once you know, want to get them out. And also just of note, when you want to take the Ptera Grips out, you have to push both of these little flaps back. There's one on the top and one on the bottom. Just make sure you get them both at the same time. It makes it a lot easier. And then there's release switches down here for this stuff. And it's easy to get out, but it's just kind of sticky after a while. You do get more sounds, again, once you do this, or, you know, some of the same sounds. God, I can feel that vibrating in my ears. And you can still do this as well, and that doesn't really change anything other than the mouth being open and all that jazz. You can combine it with one of the other weapons that came with this, because as you know, if you've seen the series, they can kind of add to the formation as they add Rangers. So you have the Brachio Staff here. There is a, where is it? There it is, a latch right here that will just simply snap on back here. You can't attach the Drago Sword, which I'll talk about in a second, but this slides on pretty nicely. Just one second. There we go. So there you have that. You can do the larger formation, which is a nice bit of synergy. I appreciate that. Now again, I feel like I remember that you were never able to really attach this. It's possible I'm wrong, and maybe in the Japanese version they included some sort of attachment, but there's really no way, unless I'm just an idiot, which I am, but maybe not in this case, to like visibly attach this on top of here like this. This is actually pretty nice. I mean, you can tell what it is, but I like that there's not some big like plug that's sticking out or some sort of attachment you need, but you can't do that. But you can indeed attach it with this, which again, I think is a nice little touch and a little form of playability for kids, you know, back in the day and stuff like that. But anyway, overall, this is a very okay roleplay weapon. It's certainly not going to win any awards for being accurate to size, but I think if you're a huge Dino Thunder or Alba Ranger fan, you know, it's not bad for a little shelf display piece, but it's certainly not the best thing ever. But I also do like that it can combine with this. So if you happen to have that, you get some synergy. There's the Power Rangers sticker we're expecting. Like, Johnson, we forgot to include it in the main toy. It's okay, it attaches with one. Ah, good, the quota's filled. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell to get the notifications from my videos. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.